Okay, so this is our third lesson in our measuring time unit, and we are going to learn about telling time to 5 minutes, which is based off of Math Focus 4, pages 268 to 270. Now, I'm going to start off by saying, if you know how to skip count by fives, or know multiples of fives, so I'm talking 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, it's going to be pretty easy for you to wrap your head around this lesson. I will be using at one point the online interactive clock tool that I've been recommending since the beginning of this unit. But let's just move on and I'll get to that in a moment. So the question asks, Corey is chatting online with his friend Andrew in Alberta. For Corey in Manitoba, the time is what is shown here. For Andrew in Alberta, the time is actually 1 hour earlier. So what time is it in Alberta? Well, the first thing we need to do is we need to figure out what time it is right here. So when we read a clock, we always want to look at the hour hand first. Now the hour hand here shows that it's after 2 o'clock, but it's actually before 3 o'clock. It's not 3 o'clock just yet. So we know we're within the 2 o'clock hour. The question is, how many minutes are we into the 2 o'clock hour? And that's where the minute hand pointing it to the 10 is going to tell us something. So I can skip count by fives to find out how many minutes into the 2 o'clock hour it is. So let's do so. So we'll start at the 1 and go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So it's 50 minutes after 2 o'clock in Manitoba. Other names for this are 250 in numbers, 250 in words, or it can also be read as 10 minutes to 3 o'clock. As you can see here, it's really close to 3 o'clock, and I just go 5, 10 to know that it is 10 minutes to 3 o'clock. Now, in Alberta, it says the time is 1 hour earlier than 250. So the hour hand would be after 1 o'clock and just before 2 o'clock. And I'll show you that right now. So on my clock here, this is what the time is in Manitoba. It is 2:50. The hour hand is after the 2, but before the 3. And once this minute hand gets to the 12, it will be 3 o'clock. However, it's telling us that it's an hour earlier in Alberta. So the hour hand should actually be taken back an hour. I can turn it around the whole way if I wanted to. What I'm going to do though is I'm going to go like this, and then I'm going to move it here. Now I will point out that the minute hand doesn't change just because it says it's an hour. So that's the difference right there. Not quite 2 o'clock yet. And if we go back to our lesson, if it's 2:50 in Manitoba, we go count back just 1 hour. And as you can see, I've highlighted the 1 hour right here, moving the blue line, the hour hand back. So it's now 1:50 or 1:50 in words, or we can also read it as 10 minutes to 2 instead of 10 minutes to 3. Now, here's a trick I'm going to teach you right now that'll make telling time by by 5 minutes very easily. So I've made a chart here, and what it has is the location of the minute hand, when it's pointing to the 12, when it's pointing to the 1, when it's pointing to the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the 6, the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay? Now, for each of those, except for the 12, it's simply a multiple of 5. So when the minute hand is on the 1, it's 5 minutes. When it's on the 2, it's 10. When it's on the 3, it's 15. When it's on the 4, it's 20. When it's on the 5, it's 25. When it's on the 6, it's 30. When it's on the 7, it's 35 minutes. When it's on the 8, it's 40 minutes past the hour. When it's on the 9, it's 45. When it's on the 10, it's 50. When it's on the 11, it's 55. And then when it's on the 12, it's the 60. But by that point, an hour has passed. So it's the top of the hour again, so it would go back to 0. Okay, so there's for example, 11:59, and then it becomes 12 o'clock. It doesn't become 11:60. So an easy way to do this is, if you don't remember to save your time going 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, is if you see a number on the clock pointing towards or see the minute hand point towards the number, simply take that number it's pointing towards and multiply it by 5. So if it was on the 1, I go 1 times 5. I know that it's 805. If I point 5 times 2, I know it's 810. 5 times 3, I know it's 815. Okay? So that's an easy way to do it, is just to multiply the number by 5 to get the number of minutes past the hour. Okay? With the exception of 12. When the big hand's on the 12, it's always 0, 0. It's always, whether it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, etc. Okay? Now, let's take a look at number 1 here. Corey plans to talk to Angie online at this time. Now, this one's not colored, the hands, but it's pretty easy to figure this out. It says the hour hand shows that it's after 8 o'clock and before 9 o'clock. So it's during the 8 o'clock hour. Now, the minute hand is pointing towards the 5. Now, I could go 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. But if it's pointing towards the 5 and I multiply it by 5, I know it's 25 minutes past the 8 o'clock hour. So I can skip count by 5s, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and that confirms it. So I know that it is 25 minutes after 8 o'clock, or 8:25 in Manitoba. Now where Angie lives, the time is actually 2 hours later than Manitoba. So what time should Angie go online? Well, this is pretty straightforward. We have 8:25. We just have to add 2 more hours onto it because it's later, not earlier. So we're adding hours on. So where Angie lives, the time is 2 hours later than 8:25. So the hour hand would be after the 10 o'clock and just before 11 o'clock. So I go 1, 2. So I know it's 10:25 or 25 minutes after 10. I hope this is clear. And if you have any questions, you can contact me on Microsoft Teams or by email. Thank you. Have a good day.